everyone, my name is Devika Sajeesh and welcome back to my channel. So in my channel I have done a lot of videos about Canadian studies, my journey to Canada, whether that's IELTS, about the bank loans, about the journey as a whole. I have done a lot of videos and typically I get asked a lot of questions beneath that video or from people reaching out to me on LinkedIn, and here is an answer to the most questions that I get, that is, will I be able to survive in Canada? Will I be able to find a job in Canada? And questions similar to that. So in no means am I a finance expert here, but these are some tips and tricks that I took with me on my 2-year journey. So right now I have finished my 2 years of education in Canada. As some of you who are watching my videos or following my content for some time now would know, I have come back to Dubai to have a little bit of a vacation time week with my family, and when I go back it will be a whole new journey of work permit and my journey and struggles to PR, but that's a whole different topic. Let's just talk about how I managed to finance for my second year education. London generally, I would say, is considered a place where the living cost is comparatively low. The rent prices are a little bit less when compared to other places. It is considered as a place where it is a tad bit easier to find jobs, but it's an arguable topic which we'll get into. So when talking about managing your finances, the number one thing that comes into my mind is to save up your GIC. Now your GIC, especially when I went, which was 2 years back, we had to deposit 10,000 Canadian dollars into a Canadian financial institute. But I know that the condition now might be different because if I'm not wrong, the number has risen to 20,000 Canadian dollars. Yet, one thing to consider is the increase in the living expenses. It is not easy, it is not cheap to live in Canada at the moment, and when it comes to paying your bills, there's a lot of things that you need to consider, whether that's your rent, your phone bill, your transportation facilities, your transportation bills. These are a lot of tiny things that can add up over time. And the groceries, it's a completely different topic for another day. So when all these come together and the prices of all these commodities increase, that is when there will be an increase in the living wage, and all these things like the increase in GIC or the increase in the minimum wage are all an indication of that. So you might need that amount to survive. However, if you can save up even a small quantity, now you can only save this up once you get your first part-time job. If you are able to save up at least half of what you get, so up until when I was done studying, we used to get $720, if I'm not wrong, every month, and that except the first month we used to get $2,000. So they would dispense it from a timely period. So saving up this money could really help you have like a large bulk of money. And the number one trick for this is, when you open a GIC account, try to open another checking and savings account with another bank, so that whatever money you have as your GIC would stay in your other bank account, if I'm making sense. Or alternatively, you can put all these funds into a high interest saving account. This can not only make sure that you're not spending more than what you intended to, but also once you keep the money on there for a long period of time, you can collect the interest as well. Secondly, now this is something that can be a little bit controversial, but cooking your food at home. Now I'm not one to talk about this topic because I have had a hard time cooking food at home nowadays. Like, once I've had all my fees paid, once I've finished all my education, I started to splurge a lot, and that is something that comes with saving a lot as well. So you have to be prepared for that. But cooking your food at home can save you a lot of money. The price of groceries can never match up to all the food that you're having outside. Delete DoorDash, delete Uber, delete whatever that takes you to cook your food at home, because that would come into your benefit the most. Next thing I would say is use your credit card at limit. Now, I was a person who didn't take a credit card up until I think 1 year after I was there for my education. I would not prefer this because you are losing an opportunity to increase your credit limit, increase your credit score. So definitely don't do that, but use your credit card to your knowledge, pay it off on time, and try not to build a debt, because that would not be easy to solve. But having a credit card is good in case you need to you need some emergency funds at the time of your fees payment. It can all come to help as long as you are aware of your situation and you are aware of your financial capabilities. Now, taking you through my story, as I mentioned, I had a GIC of $10,000. Initially, I did use up my, I think it was about $2,000, and it was another 3 months until I landed my first part-time job. So I did take quite a bit out from my GIC, so I could not save the entire amount, yet I did save what I could, and I think I saved up to either $6,000 or $7,000 from my GIC alone, which was greatly helpful, because when you're applying for your second program, you have to give an initial deposit of, I think, can vary from college to college, but about $2,300, and that was between a period of like 30 days. So that came into use when I was paying that, and then your first semester fees are due after a couple of months, which is a couple of months before your program starts. So you have enough time to collect funds, work for it, and all. So yes, I got or rather I landed my first part-time job 3 months after I landed in Canada, and from there I started working. So when I was working, I did not have like the 20 hours or the 24 hours work limit, so that was such a boon for me at that time. Another thing is working during your break. I utilize my break time the 4 months to the maximum, because I had the job at my retail job, and I also landed a job at college, which I continued till the end of my college years. And the benefit with college, as many of you might know, the hours does not count your work limit that is placed. So it is such a benefit if you can find a campus job. Working during your break time can be a very efficient way to collect enough funds for when you have to make the payment for your fees. The last and final thing I would suggest is to keep all the big investments, all the big purchases that you're going to make for after you have paid off your fees. Now, this comes as an absolute, duh factor, but I cannot stress on how many people that the factor has not clicked into. But all your big purchases like financing a car, getting a new phone, they can all wait for another year, and this is a key factor to avoid a financial burden in the coming years for you. So yeah, I know these things that I talked about today, they clearly were not like very groundbreaking things, clearly nothing that no one has ever talked about, but this is something that has helped me from my personal experience. And I know that situation is changing right now. Students come in with more money, so the situation is a little bit more under control. They have a little bit more finances in hand to spend, but use your money wisely, use your finances wisely, because you never know about the living conditions, and you never know about what announcement the federal government is going to make next. So yeah, I'm not going to continue to scare anyone, as I'm super terrified myself as well, because there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding immigration right now. All the very best for your future. I will see you guys in my next video. If you did find this video informative, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also comment below and let me know what type of videos you'd like to see next, because I've been experimenting with a lot of videos to see what you guys would like to see. That's all. Bye bye.